We're at the Charlestown Navy Yard Ropewalk. This building was built in 1837. First production was in December 16, 1837. The latest technology was used in here. A local inventor named Daniel Treadwell designed specific machines for each process in making rope. These machines replaced the handcrafted spinners and rope makers that you would find in the commercial rope walks in the Boston area. But the technology allowed for much more precise rope, and the rope that was made in here was 50% stronger than the hand-spun rope in the other commercial rope walks. All of the rope was made here for the Navy from its beginning in 1837 to 1955. Then this rope walk was converted to a research facility where they experimented and researched with nylon rope. And the technology is still being used today. Okay, we're in the 1865 section where the manila rope was prepared. And if you look along the floor, you can see the spacing of the machinery. They used all available space that they could. And you'll notice it's also lined up along the sides here. And there's two reasons for that. The windows allowed for the natural light as much as possible. But also, right above us, you'll see some pulleys. These are drive pulleys that were used for the machinery. They were powered by an electric motor later on, and then early on it was steam power. Leather belts were attached to these pulleys above, and then were also connected to the machinery below. And this is what powered the machines to make the manila rope. We've come down from the second floor. Now we're on the first floor, still in the head house of the rope walk itself. From that point, they would have gone across the way to another building called the tarring building, where the yarns are actually dipped into hot tar as a preservative. It would get dipped in there, partially unspun, go through a sort of a squeegee that would get rid of all the excess tar that was inside there, and then dried, and then they would be put back onto bobbins. Those bobbins now would be brought down to this section here where we are now. This is a bobbin rack. It holds hundreds of bobbins. These can hold hundreds of bobbins depending on the size of the rope that you want to make. And this is actually set up for creating the strands. Now the yarn would come off the bobbin through a hole on this plate here. It would continue all the way down to this colander-like device, which is known as a register plate. One yarn would go through each of these holes, and the holes are there to separate the yarn so they don't snag together. All these yarns would be tied to a hook on a machine. Down here, it's on a railroad track, and the machine would continue on down the entire length of the rope walk, pulling the yarns with it, and as it does, it would start twisting the strands together. Each one of these register plates represents a strand on the rope. Now, this is the strand forming sled. You'll notice that it's on railroad tracks, and this allows the whole cart to roll down the length of the rope walk. These hooks on the front of this would have the yarns tied to them, and as it travels down the length of the rope walk, pulling the yarns off of the bobbins, it would form the strands. Now, one of the more obvious conditions you see here is a lot of charring. This is a result of a fire that took place in here a few years ago. Vandals broke into the building and tried to burn the building down. One of the interesting things about this is this building was designed to withstand fire. And the architecture apparently worked because the building is still structurally sound despite all of the charring you see here. For nearly 140 years, this rope walk was an active place. First making all of the rope for the Navy, and then working in research with the nylon rope. But more importantly, this rope walk was also at the forefront of technology and innovation. Its machinery, the first machinery brought in here, was cutting-edge machinery developed specifically for this rope walk, and ended up replacing a lot of the handcraft rope makers with these machines. And then later, all of the nylon that we use today, nylon rope we use today, was based on the research that was done in this building.